I'm Alexa Chung. I'm from England. Clothes are important and do have a political and a social political resonance. That said, I think this kind of appetite for consuming stuff to buy a cheap cachet into having people on your social media think that you're quote unquote cool is a dangerous sport. If it's something you're doing because it's coming from a place of insecurity about who you are or not knowing what's the right thing at the right time, then I don't know. I think everyone has a capacity for having their own style because it's their own opinions, their own self-expression, and the most interesting people out there are those that are kind of embraced themselves and are authentic to their thing. Trends are cool, fuck it, buy them all. Grandad trainers and white socks and those glasses. Like, come on guys, everyone needs to have a word with them. Oh, we do rock and roll again, it was much better. 5 classic items for me. I genuinely think an animal print of some variety is quite classic, so it would be something along the lines of this leopard print shirt and or snake skin somewhere. Not actual snake skin, like print. Great jeans, once you find them, hold them dearly in your arms and don't let the butt wear out. Lately I've been living in white t-shirts since I became a creative director. Okay, how about an ankle boot? How do you like them apples? I've always loved clothes, so I've always been an avid shopper and someone that likes to kind of go through all the vintage racks and look for unexpected things, but also enjoys really beautifully put together and curated stores. Now that I understand the chain of how things are made and the provenance of where your clothes are coming from, I have become slightly more responsible in the way that I shop because I understand how much something costs and why it costs a certain amount. Whereas I used to go into like Isabel Marant or something and be like, why? I think the older I get, the happier I am to seem sexier in the way that I get dressed. I think when I was younger and I was modelling and then on TV, I think I was actually just a bit weirded out by being looked at. So I was keeping everything very buttoned up and sort of keen for people to think about what I was saying or thinking rather than what I looked like. So I was like, nothing to see here, I'm just a grandma that's very serious. And now I'm like, seriously though guys, like, what's up? So I just undid a lot more buttons these days. I did try and do a social media detox recently, to no avail, because the thing I love about social media is having a window into other people's lives and being able to see things outside the parameters of my experience. Personally, I made a decision to do quite a big cull recently of things that weren't making me happy or things that no longer had relevancy to my life. So I got rid of quite a few fashion accounts that were making me paranoid or making me, they were affecting the work I was doing and the vision I have for my brand, and instead replaced them with, I don't know, pictures of cats and or a lot of interiors actually. I think I've realised that I've aged because now I'm attracted to pottery. So yeah, I think just you have to be mindful. No one else, you can't be like, social media is bad. It's like, well then you're bad. Just take responsibility for your own shit, man. But still follow me, yeah?
Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome back to Build. I'm your host, Carrie Justick. Today, I'm sitting down with Alexa Chung and Tan France, who are 2 of the biggest names in fashion. But in their latest Netflix series, they're looking for the next household name designer. The show, Next in Fashion, already has people buzzing and binging, and for good reason. Please help me in welcoming Alexa and Tan.
Yes, I am.
Yeah, you should be.
Yeah, I've never referred to myself as one of the biggest names in fashion, but I'll take it.
Yeah.
Okay, well, let's just kick it off with that because I do want to talk about that. I mean, Alexa,
yes.
People have known you for a long time.
I'm very old.
Not old, experienced.
Thank you.
And Tan, I mean, obviously you're a fan favorite from Queer Eye. People are obsessed with you. But with this show, obviously you 2 are the authorities in this. I mean, you are a designer, now you're judging designers. And I'm
also a designer.
Yes.
Just to clarify, like that is actually my background.
I'm also on Queer Eye.
Yeah, she is. Here's the thing I keep saying, but I'm going to keep on saying it, is I think people just assume I'm a stylist because of what they see on Queer Eye. I'm actually not a stylist. I'm actually a designer first and foremost.
You're just good at everything. Even just thinking about yourself as a household name, I'm sure that's a weird thing.
I'm literally a household name because I am Alexa. I already occupy a great space in most people's homes. So now I'm just pleased to bring the chung to your favorite device.
That's amazing. But what has that been like for you guys? Like you know, like being designers who are now judging designers.
I actually initially, like a modern person does these days, I've switched careers quite a few times. So I actually started out as a TV host in England. So I was 22 when I started being on TV, and before that I was a model from 15. So like I've never really known a different experience necessarily. So I'm pleased that people like the show. But I don't know. I've just been in my studio because I have a fashion line. We're based
Alexa Instagram. Sorry.
Yeah,
Alexa
we're based in East London. So my reality now is just like actually being the creative director and doing that. So it was lovely to do this show and flex some kind of judging muscle, but I've never done it before. I hope to do it again.
Let's hope so. I'm actually going to speak for her.
Sorry, that wasn't rambling.
No.
I just ate loads of pasta and now I've got carbonara brain, which is an affliction.
I'm going to say this. So it was very well respected in the fashion space for a long time, and then she created a brand that a lot of people respect. I wear some of her stuff. I love her stuff.
You've got my jacket on.
People wear
you.
her stuff, and so it makes sense that Alexa would be judging, or she has a right to judge because her aesthetic is wonderful, and it's an aesthetic people really gravitate towards. So she's an authority.
Thanks, Tan.
It's all right, my love. You know, you've had the pasta. You can't concentrate. Alan.
I just love this already because, I mean, what are we, English queens? This, I think, was looking at your Instagram from when the show launched, and you were very much like, I'm nervous, the show's coming out. Like,
gosh.
how will people receive it?
Yeah.
People are freaking out over this, and I personally think it's because of you two and all the people on the show, just the relationships and how human it is.
Yeah.
I mean, you obviously worked with a group of guys for Queer Eye. What was it like making this connection and this
sweet
relationship?
love.
It's nice to have somebody really nice to work with as opposed to those mean boys. You know them, they're just no. It's it was such a relief. Honestly, it is a concern when you've been in TV for a long time also, and you've had rotating castmates, hosts, whatever.
Yeah, I'm not a loyal lover.
It's nerve-wracking thinking, I don't know what this person's going to be like. I've gotten so comfortable with people that know me so well and that we vibe really well and we clearly have a very strong chemistry, to working with somebody that you don't really know thinking, gosh, I hope that works out. And we're bloody lucky because it worked out real well.
It's a leap of faith because they're going to put you together. We had actually already met very briefly at a party, and I am a huge fan of Tan anyway. So I had high hopes that it wouldn't be a disaster. But from day one, we got on very well. So it's been so nice, yeah.
And I mean, even with the contestants, your relationships, I love seeing those because especially for a competition series, you kind of think of the hosts as maybe, you know, like not always
separate entity.
Yeah. And you guys, I mean, you're rooting for them.
We were all up in their business. Yeah.
Too much.
Annoyingly present. It was great because we got to see them in the workshop actually doing the patterns and sewing this stuff together. But a lot of the time, you know, they're really up against it. They have a day to complete that. So we were just interrupting them and asking them questions. And sometimes we would get short shrift and they'd be like, sorry, can you please go away and stop doing gymnastics?
They're like, sorry, we have to make TV out of this, so we have to talk a little bit.
But the reason why I think it's different for us on our show is because, again, we are designers. We know what it feels like to have a deadline, or to know that something's not going right, or the fact that you've chosen a fabric and it's too late to change that fabric. Like, that's an intimidating process. So I think that's why we were able to connect with our contestants so greatly, because we wanted them to succeed. It was never a case of, well, that one needs to fail because we needed them to succeed.
If you have experience of doing it yourself, you can be way more empathetic.
Yeah.
I love that. And just hearing you say the part of where designers, that obviously that hit me after the streetwear episode, and I don't want to give too much away. Hopefully you all already watched it because, like I said, it's so good and binge worthy. But there was a really human moment there, and you got emotional, and you did kind of plead with them. Like, we've been in your shoes, and we still struggle with these things. Can you tell me a little bit about what happened there and how you kind of hit that point?
I think that is one of the points of beauty of our show, is that we decide based on what that product was or that design was that episode, whether this person should move forward or not. And it really does show that it's an honest experience for us where we couldn't come to a unanimous decision, and we do actually care. And if you know me from Queer Eye, you know I don't actually cry very often. In 4.5 seasons, I've cried once on the show. I'm not a very emotional person. And so when I got very emotional on Next in Fashion, it's because I really did. That decision was so hard for us to make, and I needed the designers to know that we aren't trying to say that we're separated. We don't understand your story. We don't understand how difficult this is. I want you to know that we're taking it so seriously. And so that's why it was emotional.
Yeah. And week by week, obviously, it got harder and harder because you're weeding out people. And by that stage in the competition, everyone's kind of amazing. So we kind of created a problem for ourselves, really, by the producers did so well at casting it, and everyone's super talented, but it made judging almost impossible.
Yeah. As we got towards the end, it couldn't be based on, are they a great designer? Because especially towards like the last 4 episodes. I watched again some of it last night. And
can.
Oh, I know.
Like, spend the day doing press, go home, watch it again. Nice.
It's been a while since I watched it, so I wanted to watch it again and really understand what people were talking about online. And I watched it again thinking it wasn't that any of them wasn't a good designer, because they were all wicked towards the end. Yeah. It's just that wasn't their chance. We had somebody called Carly, who I don't want to give too much away, but on one of the challenges she doesn't do very well. She is a formidable designer, but that just wasn't her challenge. And so I think that's what makes it interesting. It's not that they're not good designers. They can all do this very easily. It's just that sometimes that's not their genre.
Well, the challenges also were incredible, and I loved it because even before watching, you just look at the titles of everything and what they're going to be making, and they're some of the most difficult things to pull off. Yeah. They're going from undergarments to suits to denim. Do you guys have any say in what those challenges were?
Not really. They had already laid out how they wanted the episodes to take form, but we definitely were vocal about ones that we thought were preferable.
Yes, or a little bit off.
I think, or a bit off, or maybe not that different from one another.
Yeah.
But it is, in the modern world, having a fashion line, it is indicative of that experience that you might want to roll out a product line which includes sportswear and activewear, but at the same time you might need to do tailoring. So it was more about testing the gauntlet that they would have to run were they to set up this own fashion company.
Yeah. And they can't just be good at one thing.
No,
like,
it's typical that you might have a denim line or da-da-da. And so it was good. But denim is weirdly very, very difficult.
Very difficult. And it's all well and good if you do one thing very well, but that's not going to make an international brand. That will make you successful to a certain extent, but you need to cater to more of an audience than just that one particular thing.
And so you were just saying you rewatched because you wanted to, be part of the conversation that's taking place right now. What has it been like going onto social media and seeing everybody's reactions?
It can be scary. I haven't done a show that's been, on an international platform ever. So I was a bit frightened, but actually, at least on my Instagram, which is the one I look at, everyone's been really supportive and really kind, and it's been lovely.
Yeah, we were talking about this earlier. It's funny. A lot of my friends, we communicate through DM instead of text, and the amount of people who have used the word actually is funny.
Yeah.
Like they were saying, oh, it's actually really good. I'm like...
No, I had the exact same thing. Like, my family are so sweet. Of course, they support everything I do. But I could tell that it was actually a
relief
watchable show.
A relief to them.
They were like, we've actually finished the whole series. What were you planning on doing?
Watching like a few episodes to tell you that they saw it?
No, I watched one and then I watched more.
Yeah.
Okay, well, thank you.
Yeah.
We are related by blood.
Well,
to do that.
I mean, honestly, if you're thinking about it, like, I haven't seen a show like this that's been so revamped in a while. Like, you've seen this type of show, and so it's kind of like, as an audience member, you're like, okay, what are they going to do that's different, you know?
Yeah.
And like I said, it was so refreshing because of the relationships, the challenges, and then my personal favorite episode was the underwear episode.
Oh, yeah.
I loved it, but I also loved it because, I mean, even with different body shapes and sizes, it was so seamlessly integrated into the conversation, the episode, and it wasn't a conversation.
Yeah, there's no reason.
Although a bit that they cut out of that episode was tan. When you were teaching the girl to walk.
In heels.
In heels. This girl, she was wearing heels, and she was like...
Actually, every model, every one of them female models was going to wear heels and 2 of the males, and they couldn't do it. I was like, how is this even
So I came back from lunch and I like found Tan out the front, just like, okay,
Teaching them how
follow
to walk in
me.
heels.
And he had
Yeah.
he loves a heel anyway, but he had his like tallest shoes
Like,
on and was like,
use your hips.
yeah, like swing it around, swing it.
So Dan was using his spare time to teach the model.
That was my lunch
Because
break.
because you know, you don't know Tam, but he really cares about people and he's a very nurturing energy, and I think he just wanted them to look their best. And they were beautiful, these girls, but it's intimidating to wear underwear on a television show, even if you're a model. You know, you're used to doing stills or whatnot. This is a catwalk in front of a live audience, so I think they were maybe a bit nervous. And
You're also trusting designers that just put these undergarments together.
oh yeah.
So
I didn't
that's
even
crazy.
think of that.
Yeah.
Right?
I know, they were so brave. I was like, wow. I wouldn't have been able to
Here's
wear
this underwear I just
super
thought
high
of
cut.
yesterday.
Oh my god.
I was like, these ladies are really taking care of business down there.
Well, some of the models I was thinking from what I saw, they all seemed like they super knew what they were doing.
Yeah.
Which I loved, because sometimes the designers could be like, oh, she like didn't know what she was doing and she made the garment look bad. But I was like,
No.
No,
They said that in our
people are
show?
No, not on our show.
Oh.
in others. That's what I'm saying. Like, it's kind of like they all looked super professional.
Give me a surprise. My dream, actually, is that someone puts a bouncy castle in my garden. Brilliant. I've never been able to do this, but I have watched YouTubes of Justin Bieber doing it. Oh my god, I thought I nearly did it then. I never leave the house without my handbag. Basically, it holds my life in it, and then it slowly just collects more and more stuff. And so I'll find like a mini Mars bar stuck to the bottom, or like half a contact lens. So it just kind of becomes a bit of a Mary Poppins situation. I'm definitely enjoying more in my 30s. Ooh, it's kind of not true. There's nothing really I'm enjoying more in my 30s. Pajamas. I'm definitely enjoying pajamas more. I wear old gentleman's ones that I bought, not that I stole from an old man. Right now, I smell like tuna. No, I don't. Right now I smell like, well, hopefully right now I smell like my rose and leather perfume that I put on this morning, but I can't guarantee that. The most beloved thing in my wardrobe is, do you know, it's probably my Alexa Chung dungarees, which is the first collection that I made with my company. I'm really pleased with them and I wear them all the time, and it's very special that they're from our own brand. Let me tell you a joke. Bono and The Edge walk into a bar and the barman says, "Oh, you two again." I regret, as a teenager, I regret wearing skin-coloured tights as a teenager, which is what everyone used to wear at school, and I don't really understand why. I don't even, is that edible? It's pretty amazing. It's like an alien. Oh, very sweet. Stuart, no? Blank would be my signature dish with blank for dessert. Yorkshire puddings would be my signature dish with crepes for dessert. So I don't have to change the batter. Okay. Blank was definitely the best decade. I think the 70s were the best decade. The 70s, laid-back style, great denim. Angelica Houston in the 70s. Blank is my favorite accessory. My Gucci bag is my favorite accessory. Love is very rare. I really think people can only really be in love maximum 3 times in their lifetime. So when you find it, you should nurture it and appreciate it and be really happy about it. Buy, sell, yes. I don't know how that got in my bag, but there it is. I have the best of all my friends. I have the best ass. Don't know, that seems like a mean one, doesn't it? Because I'd be like, boyfriend. Not sure I'd call it a party trick, but I can. These sound like dodgy jokes, I don't know why. Do you know what? I can shuffle cards quite well. Blank always gets me up dancing, pretty much any song. I'll get a straw and wear the like headphone set and then like try and encourage people to be the backup dancers. I'm a frustrated pop star stuck in the body of someone that can't sing. If I could body swap with anyone, I would choose Rihanna. Just straight up. I haven't even got to the end of the sentence. Thank you for watching. That was Fill in the Blank. I had a lot of fun. Hope you did too. I'm gonna go now. Bye. I know I'm leaving weirdly. I feel like we've shared a really intimate moment and now I'm being awkward because we've slept together.
Cool. They were really nice, and they just a few of them were recurring
Yeah, which I love.
guests.
Yeah.
So Yeah, they've put up with a lot as well.
Long days.
Long days, just
Lot of
like standing around in like
Yeah.
a leotard.
Yeah, there was the one with the dress that was like impossible to open, and she
Poor
couldn't go to
thing.
the
She was
bathroom.
being so polite about it though. Like,
Nothing came
I
up.
kind of have needed to
6
go to the
hours.
restroom for a while now.
Hours, bless her. She didn't.
So obviously, like with that conversation that I was just saying, like different sizes, more inclusivity, all these things. I mean, even the contestants are international
Yeah.
from all over the place. Like, what were some of the things that really excited you about the show, and maybe how new and modern it is, and how it reflects the fashion industry now versus what it could have been?
I'm really pleased that Netflix, I kind of had no doubt that they would approach it with that tone, but my experience of even in my own office, it's such a diverse group of people, and really I employ people that have the best skills, and quite often they've been trained not only in Britain but overseas, maybe it's Antwerp, Australia, wherever. So I don't think it was even necessarily an effort to do something special. It was more that if you want to do a show about fashion, you'd be remiss not to reflect it properly. And in this day and age, there is more diversity, that people are making clothes with all body types in mind, and people designing them and working behind the scenes really are from all over the world.
Yeah.
So it was more just an accurate representation, I think.
Same.
And for
Same.
people who don't know much about the fashion industry and like the logistics of it, it was crazy to hear about like ghost designers. And these people, each of the contestants has created incredible products and brands and companies. And like you said, you were like, which one of you is a household name? Like, what is going on in the fashion industry right now, and how do you think this show is kind of like helping these designers?
Well, it's even like with my company, I'm a creative director of my company, but I'm not the head designer. So it's quite typical that in a fashion house, there's all the different jobs there. You'll have a pattern cutter, you'll have a knitwear designer.
I actually don't know a designer brand that everybody would know. There's not one place I know where the person that you are aware of being the head of that house, they're actually making every one of those products. It's just not physically possible. They have a whole team of people, and if they did, it would probably be quite one note. And so you have a collective of wonderfully talented people, and so that's what these people are. Our designers are. They are part of those teams at those fashion houses. So they do design that product, but they just don't have the platform that a lot of these people have. Karl Lagerfeld have.
Yeah. I think another thing that the show gets right is showing how challenging it can be to work alongside someone else. So the idea of having teammates put together in twos working towards one common goal is really reflective of what happens. Like, you have a vision, but someone else's taste might, change the course of that design. So I liked that.
It's been really interesting. So the response online has been wonderfully positive on our socials, but that is the one thing that people say, that's not fair that you put them with a stranger. I'm like, that's what happens in the real world. You don't get to choose who your partner in design is. Like your boss, Alexa, would hire somebody at the
Your boss.
Your boss.
Your
Alexa.
common boss.
Alexa Chung of the world, and they've chosen somebody that they think is wonderful, and then you have to work with them and make it work. And we found on our show that it didn't matter really if somebody had worked with that person before, you could still get to the end.
The interesting part about that too, the dynamics, is none of them really went sour. There were definitely disagreements, or at least from what I saw, but they all handle it in a really constructive way. And it's not like anybody's getting kicked off and people are like, good riddance. Like, you guys, everybody is rooting for each other.
Wouldn't you say it's also kind of a bit old-fashioned now to put mugs, I just think there's a spirit of, whatever's going on in the world is crazy as well, so maybe that's why this is the kickback to it. But it seems kind of old-fashioned to people to be bitchy to one another and whatever. Like, we're now living in an era where it's better to be uplifting and try and find common ground rather than agitate the other differences.
And that's a tone that we really desperately wanted to foster on our show, between us also, and then with us and the contestants, and between the contestants. I think somebody just trumped. Good for you, let it out.
Sorry.
Oh, it was you. I thought it was coming from that area. So I do think that it's important that we set the tone from the top and make it clear that we're not here to champion aggression or negativity. We're designers. We don't have to be.
Enough of
we don't
that.
have to fight.
Enough of that around.
Yeah, there's no reason to get nasty with each other.
Yeah. Like I said, I think that's why so many people are loving it. We just
Yeah.
want something good to watch,
Yeah.
something
Yeah.
good and happy
Yeah.
and nice. And then on top of it, these people are creating incredible
Wouldn't
things.
it be funny if you had watched Queer Eye and then you watched our show and I was just nasty to everyone? Like,
That would be great.
I hate you.
Well, that's, I mean, it's crazy because you, again, so seamlessly go into this competition atmosphere. And I think
Yeah.
people have an idea of what that can look like.
Yeah.
But you guys are just, I mean, you're like their loving siblings and friends.
Thanks for not saying mum and dad because you would have made us
No,
feel really
no,
old. So thanks
but you
for that.
But you get the job done.
Thanks.
I do also want to ask you just about the designers that you had come on and guest judge.
Yeah.
You had an incredible lineup of
Yeah.
people.
Yeah.
How exciting was that for you? How was it to work with all these different people?
I think it was really valuable to have them in the room because they acted also as mentors to the contestants. So even if it was a week where those people had to go, they managed to have conversations with those people like Philip Lim or Prabal or Christopher Kane. And these are people that they really respect within the industry. So again, it's not like a made-for-TV fake fashion designer. It's someone that really understands and runs their own house and understands the trials and tribulations that come with it. So we were really lucky to get such
So
great
lucky, yeah.
people.
And it wouldn't have been fair if it was just Alexa and I judging. We do like that aspect, but it really helped to have a couple of people who could see it with fresh eyes because we got to know the contestants so well. It was nice to have people come in and who didn't know their previous work and just judge it purely on that episode, that look. I think that really helped us stay focused.
We loved Philip as well, didn't we?
Loved,
Wearing Philip's
So
pants right
sure.
now.
Are you?
Yeah.
Yeah, he was lovely.
I was very inspired after watching.
Yeah.
I had never met Christopher Kane. He's a very, very big designer in the UK.
Yeah.
You were already a friend. I had never met him. And now we DM and it's very nice.
You.
I made friends. Yeah.
Oh, he's the best. Yeah, he's fantastic.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
We're going to hand it over to audience Q&A. We have 5 questions, and the first one is on Twitter. Hello to Alexa and Tan. I'm a model in the Midwest who is looking to go into the more typical East Coast Europe industry. Do you have any advice, tips, or tricks? Thank you so much. P.S. Alexa, you're one of the reasons I began modeling in the first place.
Oh,
Can I take this one because I'm model first, Queer Eye second? Yeah.
Wait, I'm modeling the yeah, she's gonna have to move there, isn't she? I mean, I'm sorry to break it to you. It's gonna
your
be
bags.
great, but pack up that sack. We're going to Paris. I think we're living in an interesting time where I wish I was modeling in this day and age because when I was modeling, you had to stand on your mark, stay quiet. They encouraged everyone to wear kind of the same uniform to castings. Whereas now I think after social media, we live in a world where eccentricity is celebrated or being different or just being yourself. So I'm excited for her to start modeling now.
Hello, I'm Alexa Chung and I am a TV host and I write features for British Vogue and I design denim sometimes or collaborate with people to make clothes and I DJ things and I stand in parties in outfits. Fashion industry is ridiculous. It's like Zoolander if Zoolander was a documentary. It is a documentary, right? Do you know what? I really hate champagne. And my least favorite part of fashion is that that's the thing that they love to give out free at everything. And I always think, wow, I wish whiskey was associated with beautiful dresses because I'd be having a much better time. Things have changed so rapidly, so there's loads of different new ways to get involved. And obviously we've seen that from people like Tavi, who got involved in fashion just from the comfort of her own home and a blog and a computer. So I think the landscape's changed. I think you just have to find your voice and have a unique perspective on things, and whatever you're doing, whether it's design or photography or art direction or anything, just have a clear vision that's new and fresh. There's also people that are rubbish at stuff that are just like slamming hot that get to be there.
I guess it's about maybe being in situ because they need to see you. So I think she should move to LA? Oh no, the East Coast, New York.
Come on over.
Come on over.
Okay, and then we have in our audience.
Hello.
Hello. My question, you guys both have had very expansive careers. Was there a moment in y'all's careers where you were like, I've made it, you know, or has that happened yet? Or
I've made it. Yeah.
I have.
Okay, go on.
So when I was younger, I used to have a dream thinking that if I hit this certain point, if I could do that thing, then that's when I think I would have made it. Yeah. Yeah. And mine was, this was quite a while ago. It was the first time I could afford a first class ticket, not just the upgrade. It was the first time I could afford a first class ticket when I had a few design business brands. And it was the first time that happened. I was like, I've made it. And then I realized that wasn't making it, but it felt so fancy at the time.
I would say I did a collaboration a few years ago with Madewell, and I made this collection, and it was in New York, and Anna Wintour came to look at the collection, and when she arrived I was with my agent, and we just like got some takeouts. We had like literally plastic bags in our hands, and we weren't prepared for her yet. I had to show her the collection on my friends who were modeling it, so like my friend Pixie and Poppy or whatever, and it was a groupies collection, so I'd made like hot pants and I was like, you know, Anna, it's just like what you want to wear on the road, like you can stick your AAA thing on your butt there, like boom. And I just remember having this outer body experience where I was like, I'm showing a fashion collection to Anna Wintour. Like, that is the weirdest thing.
I've got a follow-up. Did you eat your takeout whilst you were giving the presentation?
I don't have to hear the thing.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Burrito my teeth. Sorry, guys.
No, so I think, actually interacting with the woman herself was probably the moment where I was
Legend.
like, is this mental? Yeah.
Quite the difference from the first class ticket.
I know.
She's like Anna Wintour, and you're
Shut
like,
up, Alexa.
well,
I flew.
Go to sleep, Alexa.
Our next audience question.
Me. Hi, I'm Natalie. Nice to meet you
Hi,
both.
nice to meet you.
Thank you guys so much for being here. Love your sweater.
Thank you
Love
so
your
much.
shoes. Amazing. Love you on Queer Eye and Dressing Funny. You helped Pete Davidson out so much. So thank God for you. I wanted to ask you guys, what are your fashion icons and where do you get inspiration from? Do you get it from walking in New York City? Do you get it from watching movies? Where does it strike?
Yeah, I find New York very inspiring. I lived here in East Village for 7 years, so that was kind of my stomping ground. Never went above 14th. Anyway, for me, I've always been heavily inspired by menswear, and my style icons are kind of rock musicians from the 60s and 70s. So still now with my brand, we always have like Brian Jones on the board, or Iggy Pop, Mick Jagger, basically everyone in the Rolling Stones. So that's my vibe, or that attitude. And it can be transferred into a dress as well, which is why I wear a lot of fairy tale dresses, but with flat shoes. I just want to feel like I could go on stage in it and wield a guitar. Not that I can play the guitar.
I don't have like a solid icon that I look to for inspo, but just walking the streets of, actually mine's London because I live in the US, so it's nice to go over to London. And I was in China a lot, like a lot, Shanghai, and I thought their style was incredible, so I was wildly inspired by them. Honestly, as far as a fashion icon, it's not the person I want to look like, but I will always love Anna's look, or Anna Wintour's look. Like, I just love that she stuck to that haircut for like 20 years. I'm like, you go. Like,
My mum has that haircut. Anna. Yeah, it's a good one. It's classic.
And actually, the reason why I started doing my hair like this, my hair hasn't always been this grey. It's gotten greyer and greyer. But before I turned 30, I was like, I just want to like a classic look that I don't have to think.
But that's how you build an iconic brand. It's repeat.
Yeah.
Like Karl Lagerfeld, you can imagine it's the wig and the glasses.
Yeah.
And thingy. Or Anna, it's the wig and the glasses and the so I think you've got iconic hair now.
I was gonna say that's like the way of an icon.
Yeah.
You guys got it down pat, don't worry. And then we have another question.
Hello.
Everyone's very stylish.
Yes.
Thank you.
I mean, everybody came dressed to
No,
impress.
it's not.
Like,
Yeah.
look
Of
who we're
course, I
sitting
did
in
this
front.
just for you guys. So for Alexa, I recently watched a video of you giving a tour of Williamsburg.
Oh my God. Yeah. That's the problem with the internet. That stuff hangs around, huh?
It was like from 7 years ago, but I recently moved to Williamsburg.
Yeah.
And I was wondering what your favorite place to shop in Williamsburg is.
Yeah. So back then, I remember making that video. It was a shopping guide then. So I haven't actually been there since my last trip, but Stella Dallas, is that still going? That was great. And it's it's like North, whatever, 5th.
Go on.
Bedford,
Go on.
Briggs,
Go on, love.
Roebling,
Yeah.
keep going, Havermeyer.
There it is. Go.
Stella Dallas, great vintage shop, and out the back things are more reasonably priced, and then next door it's forget about it. Yeah.
And then our last question, right up front.
Hi.
Hello.
So we're Parsons students, and I was wondering if you had any advice for fashion students looking to go into the industry.
My dad still wants me to go to Parsons, so I should be asking you, I think.
I was a student also many years ago.
Many.
I can barely remember I did it. What I will say is, I know that the dream is always to be like the next Alexander McQueen. I think you have to accept the fact that that's not possible for literally everyone because everybody wants that. And so maybe find an area within the fashion industry that you truly could make your own, that you could make work. Whether it is in mass apparel retail, if it's in a luxury sector, just find that area of expertise that isn't the same thing that literally millions of fashion students are going for, and then make that your thing. That's how I created my businesses, was finding a more niche market that I could design for and learn how to do something called a tech pack. If that's the only advice you take away from what I'm saying today, learn how to do something called a tech pack.
I have different advice.
Go.
It's just be willing to make coffee and tea, and just that's it. I did this whole series on with British Vogue about how to get into the fashion industry, and really the takeaway advice from every designer, photographer, whoever it was in the industry, was actually an attitude of being willing to help is what furthered their career and ultimately got them to where they were. They didn't mind, I'm about to swear then, they didn't mind shoveling shit. They just got in, they got stuck in there. So being as helpful as you can will get you noticed, and then you can move into the next bit. But as much experience as you possibly can get, I think. Yeah.
Guys, thank you both so much for joining us.
Thank you for having
I
us.
have had a ball with the English Queens. Everybody go check out Next in Fashion on Netflix.